Doing a nice quick cold start today. So the truck has been sitting probably, I don't know, about 4 weeks now, something like that. So I'm starting to get, there we go, you can see some those little cobwebs and whatnot down here. So she is cold. When I first get in it, before I start it, that little rod right there, oh shoot. That little rod right there is the manifold thermostat, and it sets the choke real nice. She starts pretty fantastic. Those two wires are the field wires for the voltage regulator, and then the yellow wire is still original. The red wire from the original alternator wiring is the field for this guy. So at any rate, that's I think the only wires that I've ever cut on this truck, but nice big alternator, set up all nice and straight, charges fantastically, so you can make it original. I wouldn't do it. And then actually down there, you see where I jumped the two wires for the ballast resistor, but pop those out, put a ballast resistor in, plug that guy into that computer there, and there you go. Then also these things are known for issues with the old ammeter and charging system, so there's a nice big old cable there for this big strong alternator running through a breaker and then right up into the battery. So no issues at all with the interior wiring and everything. And then I threw a relay there for, you know, running everything, and it's running through an HEI. It's all ultra simple. It doesn't get much, much simpler. But at any rate, she hasn't run, I don't know, maybe a month, something like that. So that's nice cold coolant there. I can stuff my finger in it and everything. So you know it's actually cold. And yeah, that's about it. So, ow, God, bunch of junk laying around. Hence my need to sell this beautiful girl. Too much junk in the way, holding in nice things like this truck. Adjusting a flexi tripod. Oh, bear with me here just a second. It's a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. Ooh, there we go. That feels decent. Feels like today's the day I'm going to break my screen. There we go. Perfect. So, been a while. The fuel bowl is surely completely empty. So it'll take a few cranks once the fuel pump pushes up fuel to the carburetor. She pretty reliably lights right off, so. She's revved up. Once I drop the RPM, no issues. She still runs great, but wanted to show not a bit of smoke, not a bit of anything. Nice clean exhaust. Truck runs just incredibly nicely. Oil pressure hits about 75 when you first start it. Once it's hot and you're running, it's probably, I don't know, 50, 60 when you're, rolling. And then idle, I don't know, 30, 40. And just that's off memory. I have too many trucks. So, but anyway, voltage always right there. That like real nice, stable, exactly what you want, which is what I love. I'll get to this in a sec, but I love it. old military and Forest Service badging. As soon as you rev it, the little, I guess you'd call it the different idle speed cams. Anyway, the thermostat for the choke works perfectly, knocks the speed cam down. Every bit of that's doing it automatically when you start it. No baloney, which is part of why I love this thing. These nice old, just flick it kind of openers there, kind of fun. I'm gonna get out of here before this exhaust fills my house up. But yeah, not an issue owner. And actually, you know, let's see, I guess this is a 76. I'm borderline amazed. It came with power steering and power brakes. They were spoiling those Army guys back then, huh? And I threw a tack in it. I'm a sucker for a tack. Fuel gauge works. It is literally pretty much empty right now. Temperature gauge, I think, is hooked up and works. Oil pressure gauge, I disconnected for that oil gauge, but it works. All the wiring and everything is perfect. I think I have the sender sitting in a box somewhere. Go ahead and back this sucker out. So yeah, about once a month I'll get it all the way up and nice to running temperature. I'm gonna run today up to the gas station. Just, you know, have it run for a total of, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Just get her nice and super nice and hot, get all the moisture out of the oil, all that good stuff. I still change the oil every, I don't know, probably a year or two at this point, even though I really don't run it. Up until a couple weeks ago I had a plate on it, but the this is the four-wheel drive light, and then I threw a little light bulb on, not ghetto, promise. And then the seat belt light, so this isn't just disorganized wiring. All of this is fine. The heat works. Your controls for the heat work. The wipers work. No BS. Everything is great there. Heater core is good. Doesn't leak. You know. Oh, actually, yeah. They used to remove the cigarette lighters for the Army trucks. They didn't want the guys smoking. And then, you know, 1976 in America. I'm sure they still were. It still has the olive drab on the interior, which is neat. Floor pans, you know, a little bit going on, but by and large are solid. I think it's something with this material they sprayed on, like to catch a little moisture underneath it or something. But, you know, I wouldn't call it baloney territory by any means. This was an old trickle charger that's still up in there. I've never tried it. But yeah, clean the whole gas tank out, so gas tank itself is nice and clean on top. I sprayed down with POR 15 inside and out on all the frame rails after cleaning them with a wire brush, you know, just a while you're in there sort of thing. Has very, very nice, thick, no rot or bullshit in the normal stuff. Oh well, guess I'm not making YouTube money like that was gonna happen. But yeah, the normal spots, nothing. There's a spot up here. I don't even know how that happens. It's weird. Actually, this side is totally good there. Cab corners are good. Looks like it's catching a little moisture in there, so you get that little guy there. And then on the other side, I think the top of the fender's okay. Maybe there's something on the bottom. Yeah, there's a little bit on the bottom down here. You know, the spot that catches stuff. But the cab corners are good. All that's great. Best I could figure, they must have had a water tank here-ish or something like that, and then I think there was a pump over there. There's a couple some mounting holes here, maybe a hose reel or something like that, so it's a little bit rotten right there, but it didn't hit the axle or the frame. Everything is good underneath. Some rot up in the front. I have a spare bed that goes with it that has, you know, plenty of good material for patching, if that's your thing. It's totally solid. You know, I would tap dance on it and not give a crap. You know, I've had scrap metal, and I did this painting years ago at this point, so it's not getting any worse. These little lights turn on with the running lights, which is fun. Kind of random. There were never plates on them when they were military. I hate it, but somebody decided it was a good idea to bore holes in here, so I found cute little Teflon washers to keep the license plate from scraping. So the paint is still pretty good. I planned on moving the plate down like here onto the bumper or something. Never got around to it. Lenses are all good. When I dropped the tank, the filler neck hose is new. The like anti-lockup, whatever it is, the vent hose that comes right up here is new. Everything is good. New seals on the vent valve, and the anti-rollover still works. So no, venting or any other kind of issues with any of that. Everything is pretty pristine. And yeah, she just runs good. Happy motor. And yeah, timing set and water pump and all the fuel hoses, all the coolant hoses, coolant's flushed. I think the heater core might have, I don't know if I did the heater core or not, I don't remember. Master cylinder and the brake booster are both, new probably 2 years ago. The normal surface rust that immediately shows up. How somebody got it, it wasn't me that made the brake lines. I don't know, my OCD wants them to look nicer. There's nothing functionally wrong with them. The brakes work great, the brakes have been gone through. I would have to look at records to figure out, everything, because so much has been done on it. I don't think the exhaust leaks anywhere. The wiper pump worked last time I checked, which, it's been a couple years. Like I said, I don't run this thing a lot. Poor girl. Deserves somebody that'll give her some love. Take her out now and again. The doors, it's obviously never been in a wreck. The doors move better than any of old Dodge of this era that I've ever had. Windows are smooth, the regulators all work perfectly. No baloney. It's a habit. I usually leave them up a hair. In some of my other trucks that have more, messed up doors and whatnot, it's a little more important. They used to have some wiring in here for the fire department, all of which has been removed. I'll go ahead and take her on the road just a little bit here. And, you may or may not even be able to hear it shift. I'll try and keep it on the tachometer while I'm doing it. Let's give a little bit of a hey, the transmission works demo. Everybody likes that, of course. There we go. But, people say, bad things about two barrels. This sucker, man, she loves to run. All right, let's try and make sure I'm not showing my neighbors' houses and whatnot here. Anybody not interested in buying this truck probably finds this extremely boring. So sorry about that. If I remember right, I think I cocked the steering wheel intentionally a little to the left so you could see the gauges when you're the driver, but honestly, I've forgotten. It's a normal thing I do with these trucks, but anyway, check this out. Yeah, 2-barrel carb. She runs. Speedo works. This is a, it's hard to get the American Speedos that work at this point, and you can pay a shop to rebuild them, but even that's several $100s. So I had an opportunity about a decade ago to grab some of these Canadian speedometers. So the little blue numbers are miles per hour, and the big numbers are kilometers per hour. So how dare those Canadians think that metric is a legitimate system of measurement? It's ridiculous. But I'm just gonna kind of try to turn around real quick here. I don't have any real need to go anywhere. It's more of a recreational trip, but yeah, idling about 40, and she's not, well, the coolant's hot. When an engine gets really nice and hot, it'll come down maybe even a little bit more than that. But regardless of RPM and any other BS, 14 volts exactly. 13.8, I forget, 13.9, if you put a meter on it. And cools perfectly, obviously. Hoses, thermostat, water pump, everything's been done. So it doesn't leak, doesn't overheat, doesn't, baloney around. None of that jazz. So I've got 33s on it, so when you are going about 55, 60 miles, you know what, I'll go ahead and get it up to speed, see where the RPM is. But it's reasonable to think that a 55 or 60 is a good, like, you know, functional top speed for, just as an in-town driver. So oversized, if you actually correct that, we're going about 50 to 55. So you're not terribly high, you know, it's maybe 2.5 thou, you know, and now it's reading 50, so going 55, we're probably about 2,600 maybe, something like that. So a very healthy level for an old truck with no overdrive, in my opinion. So, you know, it's just like a work truck to take around town or whatever else. And I'm gonna brake hard because I feel like turning around. So yeah, the brakes are crazy. The brakes on these axles are nice and heavy duty, and you know, frankly, I would like to just go and bump around a little bit on these fields, but I don't want to light this grass on fire. You know, we're in North Carolina, so that would be a highly unlikely scenario, but I'm not gonna tempt fate here. Not to mention, if I run out of gas, and over in some farmers' fields, not exactly the ideal place to be. And if you heard it there, I just put the foot down, made her downshift. She was happy to oblige. And off we go. So yeah, you know, it's a nice overall truck, addition of a nice new set of tires, and frankly, I would daily drive this thing around with full confidence. It's really got nothing to worry about on this vehicle, in my opinion. You know, and anything could happen. It's an old truck. I'm not trying to, you know, say it's under warranty or nothing, but my personal decision making, you know, I wouldn't worry about taking it anywhere. Assuming I don't wreck into one of the other vehicles here, this will be a perfect way to end this nice little foray into 1976. Here we go. Vehicle. Alright. Oh, actually? Yeah, I don't think the horn works. Everything doesn't work, I'm sorry. Needs the horn fixed.